How do we deal with these IoT vulnerabilities, right, risks and threats? So in order to mitigate IoT security concerns, right, multiple strategies definitely need to be deployed. And of course, you need to, number one is you need to start with some sort of robust authentication and mechanism, such as maybe a multi-factor, authentication capability, right? You need to move away from weak passwords to unique, strong passwords to prevent unauthorized access to the IoT device and network, of course. I would say number two is you need to implement secure communication protocols. There's protocols out there, Nathan, like SSL, TLS. These are secure communication channels between the IoT device and the back-end systems. A lot of organizations often use VPNs, which are used to establish this kind of private and encrypted connection over public networks. But ultimately, the goal is to protect this data, the data confidentiality and integrity against eavesdropping. And again, in another video we created, we talk about the effects of eavesdropping and interception attacks. So that's very important in having some sort of encryption across the IoT and back-end database. Number three, I would say, is that you really need to segment your IoT devices into separate networks, separate zones based on their criticality and sensitivity, right? I mean, not all IoT deployments are equal or the same, but they do need to be segmented. And this is one of the weaknesses and one of the things that we see quite often when we do our vulnerability assessments is that a lot of IoT devices are not properly segmented. So we need to help enforce strict network segmentation policies to isolate them from other devices and systems on the network. And I would say finally, again, just due to your time constraints and so forth, number four would be is that you need to have continuous DDR monitoring and threat detection. And not a lot of people have heard of DDR before. DDR firewalling is the ability to do data detection and response, anomaly detection and prevention capabilities to validate and monitor data traffic flow from the source and monitor its behavior and activities to detect malicious EMI attacks, to detect protocol abuse attacks, both IP-based and non-IP based. This is very important. A lot of IoT devices are not traditionally using IP-based protocols. They're using non-IP-based protocols. And these layer one attacks are very well known, very well documented. And EMI is layer zero. So you got EMI attacks at layer zero. You have now, put this down for a second. You now have layer one attacks through protocol abuse and so forth. And of course, at layer two, wireless, you have these hijacking attempts at layer two going on. So DDR, Nathan, is a real game changer in cybersecurity, whereby it equals data validation, data detection, and response before an IP is assigned. So if you think about it, right, when wired side tools alert you to a cybersecurity incident, it's just simply too late. With the prolific explosion of IoT being adopted across our smart homes, our smart cities, in critical infrastructure, healthcare, transportation, logistics, using wired side tools to alert you to cybersecurity threats associated with IoT, you really are not detecting the attack early enough. So DDR is an early warning system that allows you to be alerted prior to loss or incident occurring before an IP is assigned. And this is a new capability that we have at Lock that complements our wireless air shield, wireless airspace defense platform, and it's called Data Shield. It's basically a firewall that allows us to do this data detection and response in real time before an IP is assigned. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's great stuff. Thanks so much, Gary. I always appreciate talking to you.
Okay, Nathan, thank you.